Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be breaking down for you my drone only Zane build. Now this is a build that actually uses Zane's drone to solo all content in the game, doing the both of the raids and both of the raid bosses. I'm going to be showcasing it here in the Malawan takedown today, but first we're going to get the build breakdown. Now real quick before we get that build breakdown in, if you guys would please drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 videos, I'd really appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get into it. Now first things first, this build, like I said, is Zane's drone. We're literally using Zane's drone in combination with some items and gear and skill choices to get the most out of it as possible. Now let's talk about what adds damage to Zane's drone. The main thing is the augment Boomsday. This adds splash rocket pods, which basically, like I just said, adds splash damage to the build, and you can boost this using splash bonuses. So basically we're looking for a class mod with splash damage and action skill damage. The action skill damage on here is very important. Make sure you find this one. And we are actually using the Infiltrator shield, which is really unique. And it's really awesome how the shield works now. And we're using the Infiltrator shield because we're using a terror build. So we have a 0.M shield here with action skill and apply terror to yourself. Now the reason why we're using the Infiltrator is because normally we would use the action skill start anointment 0.M. Now, for those of you that don't know, the 0.M, when you activate it, it puts a circle on the ground that I think you can't see here. Okay, there's the circle. Normally it puts it on the ground, but there's like a weird roof here, so it gets stuck. But if you're standing inside that circle, your action skills do 50% bonus damage. Now, essentially, we can just activate this over and over again with the Mantis Cannon. So we're using the Mantis Cannon, the Infiltrator shield, and a Terror setup because Terror damage and fire rate once again adds damage to Zane's drone, and it's just freaking sweet. The artifact we're using is the Icebreaker Victory Rush, and yes, Zane's drone benefits from both of these things. So you can also see on our Icebreaker, we have AoE damage, which is just splash damage for Boomsday, and then we have cryo damage. Now, we are using a couple different cryo damage augments, and we're going to talk about the cryo drone augment, and it's kind of your choice whether you want to use it or not, and it is a fine option. We'll talk about it when we get to that. But yeah, so since we're using Terror, we have an Eruption with 75% bonus cryo damage. Once again, this adds damage to Zane's drone because the anointment, like the drone just gets the anointment basically. And that is pretty much the setup. Some other gear I have equipped is a Hex Grenade. Realistically, I think the P Grenade would be a little bit better here because then that would apply an extra debuff. And the Eruption, we're using a little trick where we basically spam cancel the Eruption reload animation. You're going to see I'm pointing the drone a lot, and that's how we use the Eruption. Otherwise, I have a Light Show. I honestly wish I had this with like URAD or consecutive hits. This is just kind of like a fight for your life weapon, but generally your drone can get you out of fight for your life as well. And then we have an Execute with splash damage. So this is just for like an alternate debuff item I had on me. And it's an option, I guess, so, but it's not that big of a deal. Going into the skill trees, you can see we spent enough points into the purple tree to get No Way Out. Now, another cool thing about our build, this Terror anointment, the action skill damage, the Icebreaker Vic Rush, the 0.M, all of this stuff also benefits Zane's Mantis Cannon, and we did put 4 points into Headman's Hand. So this build, I don't really use the Mantis Cannon, like I don't aim for crits when I play, but it is an option, and I just wanted to let you guys know that. So we've spent enough points in the purple tree to get this debuff, because I think this debuff is a little bit important for just pumping up our drone as much as possible, because the drone will deal more damage once we debuff our enemies. In the blue tree, we got to Death Follows Close. Now, we had an option here where we could get 3 out of 3 Trick of the Light, or and then we wouldn't be able to get Death Follows Close, but I went with 2 out of 3 Trick of the Light. Now, if you guys don't know, Trick of the Light always applies to the drone. So Trick of the Light is always active for the drone, which is a pretty cool thing. But yeah, I just went with 2 out of 3. So that way we could get the Death Follows Close capstone. This just helps our commitment stacks, our cooldown. This helps us fire more Mantis shots, all of the above. And we pretty much just spent points into this tree to get to the capstone. Make sure you get max good misfortune, and make sure you put a couple points into salvation, because the Eruption will actually heal you with salvation. And then I went ahead and picked Cold Bore as a kind of a flex slot, just like, I don't know, just some utility. Actually avoid reload speed, because you can actually reload your Eruption too fast that you that you accidentally don't cancel it and it actually fully reloads. I actually ran into that problem when I was using Cool Hand, so don't use Cool Hand. Now let's talk about real quick the Winter's Drone Augment. This actually is a good option, just because, like I said, we have that cryo damage roll on our artifact. If you were to have like double cryo damage roll, then this would be a good option. But I like to use kinetic. And another thing I want to say about static field is it's very strong for activating topped off, which is that Guardian rank skill. This helps you spam Mantis shots a little bit better. And it is a weird synergy with the Infiltrator, I know, but it kind of just, this helps you get a little bit more cooldown. Otherwise, maybe you could potentially use Bad Dose just for some radiation explosions. But that's just, you know, my thought process when I'm using these different augments. And for this run, I'm going to be using Static Field. Now, with that being said, that is the entire build breakdown. So let's go ahead and run this through true Maliwan takedown, just to show you guys the power of Zane's drone. Now, like I said, we're pretty much just going to hold the eruption. And we're basically using the drone's attack command to constantly spam that reload animation. You see those debuff particles going out in every direction, and Zane's drone is literally just killing it right now. Like, he's just doing his job. The terror damage and fire rate gets added onto the drone, the Icebreaker Vic Rush. So this is a pretty fun combo. And I also like to call this my finger guns build. For those of you that come to the Twitch stream, you guys know finger guns, pew pew. So this is my finger guns build because we constantly just point at enemies and they die. And this is the entire build, so, you know, it's just going to be this over and over throughout the Maliwan takedown. I'm also going to show you guys a Wotan kill. Now, this isn't the deadliest build out there. Zane doesn't have a lot of action skill damage, but it can kill Wotan, and we'll get there when we get there. All right, we're just going after enemies. What's one really cool thing is the eruption spam actually used to kill me all the time, but with duct tape mod, it's pretty awesome. And maybe that's another thing worth mentioning right now is try to get a kinetic or a cryo eruption, because your eruption actually can damage you, and it will put status effects onto you, even through duct tape mod. So just be careful with that. And we are just chilling and killing. We're literally just spamming. And like I said, since the eruption's healing us with salvation, we're pretty tanky because we're literally just spamming constant eruption debuff that's also healing us. We gotta activate the Kraken here soon. And you notice when we hit enemies with our frickin' Mantis, they die really quickly. At least that's how I feel about it. Like, and with us debuffing enemies so much, like, our Mantis is actually doing a lot of damage at the end of the day. Alright. And here we'll get to see the drone get us out of Fight for Your Life, like I said. So this build has Fight for Your Life damage. Like, it's actually pretty cool how this build works and how it fills some Zane niches. Or some Zane, like, problems, you know, like no Fight for Your Life damage. And we're using the Infiltrator class mod, which is a very interesting choice. Alright, let's get the Kraken. Let's check out our Kraken damage. I could ground break kill him by now, but there we go. So, you know, not the most, not like the best Kraken kill ever, but like, you know, you have to admit that it's just kind of really cool that we're able to solo this content with Zane's drone. And I've done Guardian takedown before as well, but I do use the clone for the crystal sections. You could also just use a Frozen Heart in this build. If you have a Terror Frozen Heart. I think I have a Terror Frozen Heart. That'll help you do Guardian crystal sections. And that way you can still keep up with the Terror. The Infiltrator will still break the Frozen Heart. Like, it's actually a well-oiled machine. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more Borderlands 3 videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.